Hey everyone, before we get started, we as a show want to acknowledge the passing of legendary coach. He was the coach of the Miami Dolphins, Don Shula. He coached the Dolphins from 1970 to 1995. In that time, he won two Super Bowls with them. That was Super Bowl VII in 1973 and Super Bowl VIII in 1974. The thing that was special about Super Bowl VII in 1972-73 season was the Miami Dolphins didn't lose a single game from start to finish. He's the only coach to do that in NFL history. Definitely very impressive. In addition to that, prior to coaching the Dolphins, he had also coached the Baltimore Colts, and he was NFL champion in 1968 while coaching there. He also won the Associated Press Coach of the Year 4 times in his career. That was in 1964, 67, 66, 68, and again with the Dolphins in 1972. In addition to that, he is also the winningest coach of all time when it comes to regular season wins and regular season plus playoff wins, and that is at 347 wins. So that's also very impressive. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with his family. Rest in peace to Don.
It started as an idea, it became a dream, and now it's becoming a reality. No one foreseen it happening, it just happened. But enough of the chit chat. It's game time!
Do you like football? Do you appreciate good commentary? Enjoy the factual entertainment we call podcast. You won't regret it. Tim, the GOAT, to Joseph. Bruce, QB1, Stone. Tariq, Religious, Jackson. Ryan, Hot Takes, Lee. Reese, hat on backwards means business row. Together they form the football guys. Tune in while you can. They aren't on forever.
Clocked in, minds at work, stadium's my only church. IQUC, I come in first. NFL, I'll wait my turn. Brucey is the QB1, Timmy is the football nerd. Ryan's hopping on them takes, Religious Reek will bless with words. Last but not the least is Reese, he shows opinions over. Hova speaks his mind while staying sober. Spits his facts, come watch your show. Your hat is on backwards, you know it's for closer. You lucky they started the show that you're clover. Think that your brain is super, then Nova. Tune in while you can, you'll hate when it's over.
A very happy Wednesday to everyone. Let's give a quick shout out to Jordan Livingston for that fire theme song.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
He hit the mark with that one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Top notch, definitely top notch. Real quick before we get started, as always, he is Tariq Jackson. He is Reese Rowe. He's Bruce Stone. He's Tim the Goat to Joseph. I'm Ryan Hot Takes Lee. And we got a couple different topics we're going to go over tonight. First thing first, we're going to talk about Cam Newton. He is the hottest available free agent right now. I think everyone will arguably it's not arguable to me, really. There's no bigger name in the free agency right now, yet you hear no one talking about signing them. So let's get things started. Yeah, let's get things started with Bruce. Bruce, what do you think about Cam Newton this offseason?
Look, obviously there's a lot of things playing into Cam not being where he's at. Or not being with a team yet and not being with Carolina. Who would have thought all those years ago, a Play 60 commercial, a kid would steal his job like he did? All these Kyle Allen ran him out of town. He was just loosening his arm 10 years before that. The kid grew fast, No, all kidding aside, though, I think Cam can still be productive somewhere. He has to get to the right situation. I could see him landing. I know he wants to be a starter in the league. We all know that. He's missed 16 games in the last 2 seasons. Not a great look. But I still can see him. I personally still think the best spot for him would be the New England Patriots. I just, there's something about it that says to me, Bill could get a ready-made starting QB who'd been an MVP in the league, went to the Super Bowl, and Bill could prove that it was him more than it was Brady, or vice versa. But it wouldn't be a terrible thing for Bill to make a move there. I also feel a team like the Jags, if he's still available and Gardner Minshew struggles out the gate, even though it looks like they're kind of tanking a little bit there. I mean, well, not necessarily. We'll see. But I can see him end up there. Couple teams that are kind of off the radar, and I know he wants a starting job, but, I mean, the Steelers, right? I mean, Mike Tomlin, take a flyer on him if he's willing to back up Ben for a year. Ben's been trying to retire for, like 2-3 years now. Every other year he complains about something. It would be a nice fit in the Steel City. I think that would be a good look. And then last but not least, I think the Dolphins, I know they just got Tua. Who knows how healthy he's going to be. And I know they love Fitzmagic, whatever. But, release Rosen's bum ass and bring in a guy like Newton. And that team could be some trouble. I mean, they solidified that defense this offseason. They got weapons, Jordan Howard, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, right? Gesicki, whatever you want to call it, the Penn State tight end. But I mean, those would be the 4 teams I think would be his best fit for. I know the Steelers are unlikely because he wants to start. Jags are even iffy. Another team to throw out there would be maybe the Bears if Foles don't work out. But Cam can still be productive in this league for sure. So we'll see where he lands.
I got you.
Happy Ryan.
Thanks, Bruce. I definitely think it would make sense him going to the Pats. They need a quarterback because, I haven't made a secret yet. I don't think Jarrett Stidham is legit. I don't think he has a chance of thriving in the NFL. That being said, you didn't mention the team where I think he'll wind up on. I don't know where I think would be the best fit. I shouldn't say where he will wind up. That's the Denver Broncos. If Drew Lock comes out and shits the bed, that's a match made in heaven. You're talking about some fresh weapons there, and Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler. They already have Cortland Sutton, who's I think is a stud. He's well on his way to being a top 5 receiver. Not this year, obviously, but he's definitely en route to that. And then you're talking a guy like Philip Lindsay out of the backfield and Royce Freeman. I mean, that's not hurting him. That's a good situation for Cam.
Hey, Rod, don't forget about Melvin Gordon.
I did. You know what? I did forget about Melvin Gordon. They got a deep backfield.
and Noah Fant.
Noah Fant, too.
Noah Fant. I'm doing a disservice. See, you guys are only helping my cause of why Cam Newton, he would have the whole cast around him.
Right. But Drew Lock, bro, Drew Lock's going to be a good QB in this league.
No, yeah, I'm not rooting against him, but if it doesn't work out, because, I mean, I'm definitely rooting for Drew Lock. I like Drew Lock a lot, actually. But if it doesn't work out, Cam Newton's a really good insurance. He's going to be there, because you're gonna know early on if Drew Lock's going to work out or not. If he can't succeed with those players around him, and they got a serviceable offensive line, they're not going to be struggling too much there. I mean, if that was going to be an issue, they could have gotten the pick of. There were still good tackles left at 15 in the draft. They could have passed on Jerry Jeudy and still had a good wide receiving core and just help bolster the line. So I'm pretty sure they're comfortable where they're at offensive line right now. So, yeah, I don't got much else more in Cam Newton. I mean, I would like to see that Patriots thing happen. I'd like to see what Bill Belichick would do with him. Maybe before I would have said the Saints because I thought that would have made a lot of sense. But Jameis Winston is there now, and I think he's going to succeed. I think he'll eventually step in for Drew Brees at some point this season. I think he'll succeed too. I think I'm hoping that way. Jameis Winston is another guy I like a lot, so I hope for his success. Yeah, I got much else more in that though, so I'm going to throw it over to let's throw it over to Reese real quick for that one.
Okay. Oh man, this is just disheartening. This right here is disheartening, and they hear you guys and they talk about this team and they talk about Cam Newton as if he's just not like a former MVP. It's disheartening. I thought this is a football podcast, guys. I thought we were going to talk about football. Are we not going to talk about football today? Because do we not forget, you talk about Play 60. You know, he got the kids out there playing, got the shoulders together. It's just, but you know what? It's time for him to get his shoulder together. So with that being said, we forget that Cam, before his last season, his last almost full season, he threw for 67%, 3,400 yards, 24 touchdowns. in that season. We forget that this guy led a team who had no weapons to a 15-1 season, to the Super Bowl. We forget, him dancing in the end zone, still running for 600 yards, being Superman, literally being Superman on the football field, literally by his peers being voted as the number one guy with a Tom Brady, with the Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying, as in the entire NFL. So my thing is you guys saying, oh, he should go there in Pittsburgh and play backup? No, Cam Newton is a starter in this league, hands down, in Denver. I don't know why John Elway is not knocking on his door and saying, hey, Cam, we need you. That's what it needs to be. It should be, if anything, Cam needs to sit out this year other than being a backup. He should definitely be a starter.
I agree.
He should definitely be a starter. There's many guys, I'm wondering why Nick Foles, Case Keenum, Sam Bradford, remember that guy who was always injured and still went and got a $30 million contract? Holy crap. He signed 2 years, $40 million.
Reese, let me hop in on that real quick because that is kind of like the team I think makes the most sense. And I don't know why I didn't bring that up. Chicago fits like a glove for him. He could step into that role. You talk about a good offensive line. They do it. The Bears have a good offensive line. It's a shame that
they do, but the issue is you just gave that money to Foles. If they did not trade for Foles, then I would say them. But you're not going to bring in Cam. You're not going to bring in Cam. You just brought Nick Foles in there. You're not going to do that.
I mean,
that makes
but they still, even with the Nick Foles deal, they still got the guaranteed 21, but they're going to stretch that out in 3 years. So he had to restructure his deal in regarding that trade. So he had to admit to that because he knew if he didn't restructure that deal, he'd still be in Jacksonville.
By the way,
which is another reason why Jacksonville, I don't know what they're doing in that team and what they're doing in the front office, but why they are not knocking down Cam Newton's door, because they need a quarterback. They need a face. We forget that Cam Newton was once again the face of the NFL for a time period. We forget that he's a marketing. My idea for him that honestly is being Miami. You talking about turning around an organization, talking about bringing money into the seats. I understand what's going on with the pandemic, and we may have to go ahead and switch up a little bit, but still, to generate money, this guy is a owner's dream. Yes, I understand the flashy clothes and stuff like that, but guess what? That sells tickets. It's almost like, and I don't understand why there's such a disconnect with Cam Newton. It's almost like either you love him or you hate him. Yeah. There's no in between with Cam Newton, and I don't understand why. He's been a proven winner. He's led his team when he had nobody, but I don't understand the disconnect. What do you got, Reek?
So for me, I think that the Patriots is a good look for him. Definitely be able to start. I just don't think he's a Bill Belichick guy. The talent is there. I feel like he could definitely make them a playoff team, but Bill Belichick likes Bill Belichick people. He wants you straight and narrow, choir boy type of mentality. That's kind of what he wants. So I see him going to Washington. I think that's the best spot for him. Ron Rivera loves him. He would obviously know the system because I'm pretty sure Ron Rivera would make the terminology fit for Cam to start in right away. They don't like Dwayne Haskins.
To interrupt real fast, he did trade for Kyle Allen. Who obviously,
same thing.
Obviously, he might have liked him more than Cam if he brought him in and not Cam.
Well, again, so he traded for Kyle Allen because why? It's cheaper, right? Cam Newton at the time wanted a higher deal.
Can we all agree on something for the first time as a podcast?
Probably not, but go ahead. Let's try this.
Dwayne Haskins fucking stinks.
I'm not going to do that to him.
I can't say that just yet. I won't say that just yet.
Listen, stop it, you two.
I'm not going to do that.
Be football
I won't say that. I won't say that just yet.
I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to say somebody stink after their first year. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
And not even a full season?
Because Peyton Manning threw 20 interceptions his first year. We weren't saying he stink.
Yeah, but sometimes you can just tell, man.
He threw 20 picks his first year. Like, let's call it what it is. And this is
look at Johnny Manziel. You can tell.
Wait a minute. Did you just? Oh my Lord! Why'd you do that, Ryan? You just said Manning. Don't you ever bring Manning and Haskins up in the same ever?
My point is you can't let a rookie season determine just who they are.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
He's a stiff. You look at it. He's a stiff. He's a stiff of a quarterback.
There's a lot of quarterbacks.
I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm an Ohio State fan. So, like, you got to realize the magnitude that brings coming from me. Like, I don't want to admit that, but Ohio State quarterbacks do not pan out in the NFL.
So
doesn't feel
no.
good.
So what I'm saying is that no, he's not a top 5 quarterback. Ain't nothing nowhere near
Except
that.
for
But
Joe
you can put the
Burrow,
pieces-
because Joe Burrow is an Ohio State guy, and he's going to be really good.
Oh my God.
What I'm saying is, and y'all just changed my point, but we're going back to Cam. I think that's the best situation for him because they don't believe in him as far as Dwayne Haskins. Kyle Allen is a backup. If you look at the games they won, he didn't throw for 200 yards. It was all Christian McCaffrey. That's the reason why they won those games. So I think Cam Newton – huh?
He was there when Cam was there too.
Yeah, he was there when Cam was there. But, again, Cam's going to do the throws that Kyle Allen don't. When they had Cam, they give him the whole offense. With Kyle Allen, it's like, listen, don't mess us up. Let's throw to Christian McCaffrey and we'll figure it out from there. So it's a totally different game plan with Cam Newton versus Kyle Allen, who was a rookie. So, no, I'm not sold on him either. So he could definitely be a backup because he's not going to cost that much anyway. So I think that's the best move for him. Obviously, New England would be the better fit because you know he would start, but I think he goes to the Redskins. Back to you, Ryan.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely think I like Kyle Allen also, but I do think Cam Newton would be a better fit. But it doesn't appear that he is Riverboat Ron's guy. I think Riverboat Ron is a big Kyle Allen guy. So that's who's going to I think Dwayne Haskins will start weeks 1 and 2 in Washington, and then it'll go right over to Kyle Allen. But it should be Cam Newton.
Hey, Ryan, can I just let me chime in to feed off what you're saying?
Yeah.
And what Tim said. If Ron Rivera loved Cam as much as you're saying he does, Cam Newton would already be in Washington.
That's a fact.
But that's not always his decision though. He's not the GM over there.
There is a GM. There's a GM.
He got the keys. If he went
Daniel Snyder would have a wet dream if he had Cam Newton because that guy all he cares about is making money. He don't care about winning.
If he went
That's
to
a fact.
Said, I want Cam Newton would have a number 1 jersey in his mailbox tomorrow morning.
Let me ask you this: how many teams right now will love Clowney? But what's the reason why Clowney's not signed right now?
Because he overvalued himself.
Okay, then. So that's the same thing with Cam. So Cam overvalued himself. That's why he's not on the field right now. It happens because he's Cam.
It's actually that's not the reason they're reporting. They're saying the reason why he's not on it with a team yet is because of his injuries. They can't give him a physical.
The same thing with Clowney. That's the point. With Clowney, the same thing. You don't know if he's healthy or not.
Hold on. Now, we just had a guy pretty much go to Miami Dolphins who literally showed tape. You couldn't hardly go see him and all this other stuff, but he still was selected number 5, correct?
That's correct.
I mean,
and he had injury problems.
That's a draft pick. That's a lot different than a free agent.
And he's a young man. He's a young man too.
Yeah,
Cam Newton's old.
Cam Newton's 30 years old.
He's 30.
Please stop comparing him to Tua. Listen, stop. Tua got cleared by doctors. Cleared. You know he got cleared.
I'm pretty sure Cam got cleared by a doctor, right?
Yes. He's been cleared, guys.
Remember there
this
was
injury he had last year.
He was at the combine. He showed he was okay.
Yeah, but we're saying the point is that Cam is okay too. The same thing with Clowney. Clowney's saying he's okay. So the issue is that when you're saying the medical experience, the medical reason is not the same thing with Clowney.
Clowney was $20 million a year.
Yeah, real quick. The reason that Clowney hasn't been signed yet, it's because he overvalued himself. And right now, he says there's a couple teams that have offers in. You have to assume that one's going to be the Seattle Seahawks. By process of elimination, it's not the Houston Texans.
Right. My point is this:
they ain't doing that
again. If he said right now, I'll take the league minimum. You don't think he'd get signed right now?
He would, but he's not doing. But he's not doing that.
It's about negotiations. The same thing with clients. Why clients not being signed?
So if let's just say Cam Newton said, "I want $15 million a year to wherever I'm going to sign," and the teams will give him that no problem, but you can't get a physical. No one's giving Jadeveon Clowney physical or no physical $20 million. So that's the difference in their situations.
Right. So Cam Newton has
a
bump shoulder, right? Right.
I mean, on top other injuries, yes.
Right. So the shoulder.
I don't agree.
Him, right, is the thing that he makes his money off of, right? Can we all agree there?
Yeah, but he got that taken care of. The last thing was a foot.
Exactly. Liz Frank. We're talking about a shoulder injury that was almost pretty much 2 years ago.
Real quick, guys. Real quick. Before we get into that, let's let Tim get his take on the whole Cam Newton thing out, and then
go ahead, Tim.
Okay, so like Reek, I thought that Washington was the obvious choice. I mean, I was surprised when they brought Kyle Allen in and not Cam because I also thought that Cam was Ron's guy. But just because you're someone's guy doesn't mean you're automatically going to be taken. That to me just proves that Ron doesn't think that Cam's healthy. I agree he's better than Kyle Allen, and he would be there. If Ron thought he was 100% healthy moving forward, he would take him. Also, he's a former MVP, but that's 5 years ago. That's a long time. I mean, I always believe in sports. You can't go past accolades. You have to go on what you see right now. And right now, nobody can see anything for Cam because he's not available to throw the ball for anybody. He's not available to come in for a workout. So if I was Cam Newton, I would take a year off, heal up big time, come back in next year, and there's going to be guys that need quarterbacks that might think they don't need a quarterback right now. Because I don't see him wanting to be a backup. I also don't think he'll be a good backup. He's too much of a celebrity superstar to be your backup quarterback. You need guys like an Andy Dalton that nobody thinks, oh man, if Andy Dalton was in here, we win all these games. I mean, even Nick Foles when he was with the Eagles, no one before he won the Super Bowl, nobody thought like, oh man, if Nick Foles was in there, we would have won all these games.
All this is facts.
Cam, you either bring him in as your starter or you don't bring him in at all.
Facts.
Sorry, Bruce. Go ahead.
No. What I was going to say, what he said, to address something that Tim said, you guys are like forgetting. Like, I know we're going to go back a little bit here, right? Cam Newton has been. I mean, there's been a lot of drama surrounding Cam Newton his entire football life. Okay, he started in Florida. Everybody remember that, right?
Yeah, remember
he got kicked out of Florida.
Right.
I think it was something about stealing a laptop. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. And then his dad took money from school and admitted it. And then finally he ended up at Auburn. And then when he went to Auburn, he was a
Wait. He didn't get kicked out. He left Florida because he knew he wasn't going to start over Tebow. He did have the laptop issue, but he transferred out of Florida.
Where did he went to? A JUCO.
Florida.
And when he went to that JUCO, he won.
Right, but I'm saying is that he didn't officially get kicked out. He left because he knew he was not going to get the start over time.
He was going to get kicked
so he
out.
took all the run.
There was investigations, and he was going to get kicked out. Listen,
we're going to and transferring two different things.
Two different
either
things.
Way, he had to go to a JUCO to show that he couldn't start over a guy like Tebow.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hold on, time out. You already know Tebow.
You're not going to do that to Tebow. You're not going to do that to Tebow.
Hold up.
Tebow was a great college player.
Yeah, Tim Tebow's a top 10 college quarterback of all time. College quarterback.
Probably top 5.
Yeah.
Probably.
Top 5. I'll say top 5, top 10 maybe, but I don't know. I'm not a big Tebow guy. But anyway, listen, all I'm saying is he's been a firestorm his whole life. Then he went to Auburn. Remember the Scam Newton thing? I know you all remember that.
Yeah, that was his dad, not him.
Exactly.
It still happened, right? So he's not going to go be a backup.
We know all know that. He knows he's not going to be a backup, and he shouldn't be. He's all. And one thing about Cam that people believe is Cam's all about Cam.
Cam's all about Cam, but he played injured. He played for the team with a hurt shoulder, continued to take the rock over and over with injuries. But Cam's all about Cam. Cam didn't put that team in what you guys said with Christian McCaffrey when he got drafted that first year. People forget that Christian McCaffrey missed like 6 games that first season. Christian McCaffrey did until that second season. Go ahead. And guess what? In second season when Cam was pretty much injured and played, he actually threw for his highest percentage. And that's honestly with having an offensive coordinator, which a lot of people forget, having under North Turner. And North Turner actually helped turn that offense around, which very historic, and started giving Christian McCaffrey the ball and so forth, and putting Cam in better position. Now, because their defense also didn't step up that year as well, too, they went, what was it, like 6-8. So they missed a couple of different things. But also, once again, still, you saying Cam only being about Cam, he played that year injured and played 14 games. And still, once again, honestly, almost had his best year compared to his MVP season. His MVP season, he threw for a less percentage and for less yards, but he played a full season.
Yeah, 35 touchdowns, 2 passing.
Right.
Yes. So a guy who missed 2 games threw for 24.
That was the MVP.
That was an MVP season. So he played injured and almost still had an MVP season. But you guys are once again saying that he is winning. And that was literally what?
Wait, let me be clear about something. Let me be clear about something. I honestly like Cam Newton a lot. So let me not sit here and act like I dislike the guy. I'm just speaking clear, unadulterated facts.
Are
right?
they? I just want to make sure they are. So I'm giving you some stats.
100% facts. You can give me facts, but the belief is that Cam is about Cam, and listen, that's what people believe, right? Because if that wasn't the case, Cam would still be in Carolina. Matt Rule would have worked around Cam.
The difference is that Cam is a polarizing figure, so it's different.
No.
Like that's just like Cam's aura is not he's by himself. Some people just have that aura. Some people just have that swag about them that they're very alpha male-ish, right? So with the new coach and that price tag that Cam had, he's like, yeah, I want to start fresh. I want to start with my team. So you may not.
Can I say something else about Cam that I always thought?
Go ahead.
Like I never minded the Cam dance and the Superman stuff. But I do have a problem with a guy who celebrates so much when he wins and pouts so much when he loses. Just like Jay Cutler. Just like I never liked Phillip Rivers. Like, you have to be a professional.
No, he can't take a loss. I give you that. He definitely pouts.
So
he definitely pouts.
You can't celebrate like you're the greatest ever when you're winning and then pout like your dog just died when you every time you lose the regular season game. And I still come back to that Super Bowl where he didn't attempt. He pump faked that fumble. In the biggest game in your biggest game of your life,
facts,
to not dive on, at least try to dive on that ball. Like, well, I don't know what went through his mind at that point.
Now here's one thing I'm gonna say about that. Now here's what I'm saying about that.
That's a career-defining play, though.
Also, what if people talk about Jimmy G? That he missed that. Every time I hear someone in the offseason talk about Jimmy G, it's he missed Emmanuel Sanders wide open. They don't talk about all the wins and the thing.
Yeah,
it's what you do in your biggest moment, and in his biggest moment, he decided not to try for that ball.
Yeah. Now here's what I will say about the Cam.
It was definitely recovery. It was recovery worthy too. It was there.
Now here's what I say.
It was, but you guys forget they were down. They were down, and they weren't moving the ball.
They were never down more than a touchdown
at all.
They were never down more than a touchdown.
With that defense, and how many weapons did he have?
They couldn't score though.
Philly Brown, guys. You guys know that guy, Philly Brown.
I mean, you had Peyton Manning throwing the ball underhand.
No, Steve Smith was not in that Super Bowl. Don't you do that?
He was not.
He was not.
He was not. He had a guy named Philly Brown. Only person he had was Greg Olsen. That was it. That was it.
And
Greg Olsen, Ted Ginn.
Yeah, because Calvin Benjamin was hurt that year. He was going the whole season. So
Ted Ginn. When has Ted Ginn ever been like really that guy?
Never.
So real quick, guys, before we move on from the Cam Newton conversation,
go ahead.
I want to throw this to Roe and Tim real quick. You guys got a quarterback that a lot of people question.
Oh,
I question him. I think he stinks. Jimmy G. They're about halfway. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are about halfway through this contract.
Well, they can get rid of him anytime they want.
They can come now for like $4 million, something like that, for like $4 million.
Yes, we can.
So, that being said, the Niners window, they definitely have a wide window to win, but it's going to be hard to win without a legit quarterback. What do you guys think about Cam Newton possibly to plug in there? I think it makes sense.
People hate on Jimmy G, but look at that team when he plays and when he doesn't play.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Tim, I mean, who's his backup?
Yeah.
His backup is hard.
Beat hard.
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
And
then they goes to a pick six to Jalen Mills. That's how you right there. Like
easy, bro.
He never played against.
Was it Beth or Bernard? What's his name?
That was Bethard.
Yeah, they might as well be the same player. Like they're bad, bro.
Apparently, for Adam Schefter, that there was like 15 teams that wanted Nick Mullins in the trade at the draft, but the Niners didn't want to give him up for a fourth-round pick.
Yeah, I don't know what they see in that guy. I'd have gave him up. Please buy Deuce.
Nick Mullins.
No, he's a hard worker. He's a hard worker. He, just his work ethic, and he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he can once again continue to learn. But answering your question, Brian, Jimmy G, I can't lie. I'm a guy who was not a believer all season of him. I don't think, as we did see, he's not a guy who can win you the game, but he also a guy who can help manage the game. So with that offense and, of course, with our defense, he's a guy that pretty much can help. Now, has he won us some games and helped because he has weapons around? Yes. We have
his best game was that Saints game. I'll give him that. That Saints game, he balled that game. I'll give him that.
Every dog has his day.
That's the Cardinals, though.
Trent Dilfer had his day too, guys. Remember that? Remember that when he?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once again, every dog has his day. But once again,
Oh, man.
he's not. He has to continue to prove more. We continue to give. I really don't understand this, and this is one thing. And hopefully, he wins the Super Bowl. But we gave this guy over $100 million contract, and he never played a full season. Then he comes to us, and he didn't play a full season. And then he finally plays a full season, which is a Super Bowl. So once again, the verdict is still not out on Jimmy G. We still have to do. But he had a running game, and he had a defense.
The boy put the ball 8 times in a playoff game. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
So he can manage the game. And it's okay to be a game manager. Everyone wants to put, like, it says negative stigma to be a game manager. It's okay. I need Jimmy G because there's times in which we played against Arizona and we lost because guess what he did? He fumbled. He threw interceptions. So once again, I need you to cut down on the turnovers, especially when they're key. I need you to go ahead and make plays when you can. But he didn't.
Yeah. Y'all win if y'all had Tom Brady, just saying.
Well, nah. Listen, first of all,
don't do that.
People forget.
They winning with Brady.
People forget Tom Brady was a game manager for the first 2 Super Bowls they won.
I say 3.
Super Bowl.
I say 3.
You can say 3.
Yeah.
And he didn't turn the ball over, though. He didn't turn the ball over, and that's the biggest thing. Jimmy G can fit the same mold if he doesn't turn the ball over, and he actually manages it. So I think,
but you're a Niners fan. You seen at least half of his interceptions last year went off the hands of Deebo Samuels and Kendrick Bourne, where they were right in the chest and went off his thing. So I mean, he made some bad decisions. That first Super Bowl was a bad decision, but a lot of times he had a lot of. I mean, every team has drops, but it seems like every time they drop the ball, it bounces into somebody else's hands.
I still say y'all win with Brady.
Now, Tim, since we're talking about the Super Bowl, just real quick, so I don't want to be on this topic too long. Now, if you not remember, I believe it was like a either second or third down pass to George Kittle, right? George Kittle wide open in the middle of the field. Jimmy G steps up in the pocket, clear as day. They show the replay. No defender in front of him. How does he throw the ball to George Kittle? Where was the ball at? Do you remember?
Right to the ground.
It was low. It was low. George Kittle literally made the catch, and he could have kept running for more yards. But the way Jimmy G threw the ball, it was low, and George Kittle had to literally slide and catch the ball.
Yeah, I do remember that throw. Yeah, I do remember that throw. Yes, I do.
You making a good play like that and throwing the ball accurately and actually throwing him the ball and what he can work, and we already know what George Kittle can do once he catches the ball. He didn't do that. He could have, and honestly, that play right there, like you said, as you said with Cam Newton, you're defined on your biggest moments. That was a big moment. And
that could have been a great play instead of a good play. That could have been a great play.
And he had a chance. There was no pressure, nothing.
One play is just an inaccurate throw. One play is a lack of self-awareness.
Exactly. Yeah. So once again, as you said, I understand people talk about that one play with Emmanuel Sanders because that's the one that's highlighted more than often. That's what media wants to continue to play over and over again. But there's other plays. If we all know, we watch football, you know there's other plays that come before that one play. And if you don't make those plays, then guess what? You don't have to be in that situation. The same thing with Cam. But getting back to him, he's made great plays. He's also did not have a lot of help. You put Cam Newton on San Fran with all that help in a run game like that with those 3 backs, oh, my God, we win. I don't care what none of you guys say. We win.
With that offensive scheme, yes. With your 8 reverses.
With Kyle Shanahan?
To a lateral.
Come on, guys. Like North Turner. Let's look. North Turner, if you really look at North Turner and what he's done previous teams before he went to Carolina,
if you're telling me really didn't do 2016, I'll take Cam. But 2020 Cam, I don't see it.
The last time
2017.
Wait, hang on, pause.
2017, they went 11-5.
But okay, you just said it. 2017. The last time we see Cam, what year?
It was 2018. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2018.
He was games. After the injury, right? He didn't play well that season.
Yeah, it can't just stats here. 2017, he threw 22 touchdowns and 16 interceptions.
Now, what did he do in 2018? What was his percentage? Wasn't it 68%?
That looked like.
Yeah, but he still threw 20
interceptions.
He still threw 24 to 13.
24 to 13.
That's average.
Hey, and he threw 3,400 yards.
Jimmy like that. He had like 14 picks this year.
Now look, and what did he do his MVP season, guys?
Yeah, 35 and 10. He was 35 and 10 that year. He was nasty.
He threw 35-10. He was nasty.
1 year.
But he only threw 11 more. He threw 11 more touchdowns, right?
Hold up.
He threw 11 and played the whole season.
Hang on. Wait. Hang on.
And he had a running game. He had help.
Just so you know, hold on. Wait before you say anything. I'm looking at stats. Jimmy G's stats were better last year than Cam's were the year before that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Jimmy G don't run the ball neither. Also,
Okay.
Cam ran for almost
Wait,
500 yards.
stop. Wait, let's not forget about something real quick, okay? You guys keep talking about the Super Bowl year. He did it all himself. Cam's great. Superman, yada, yada, yada. Weren't they like first or second in the league in rushing?
Yes, they
Number
was.
one.
And who was running the ball?
He ran for 700.
Great. They were still number one in the league in rushing. Okay. I'm just saying they were number one in the league.
I think
in
they had
rushing.
2,000-yard rusher.
I mean, bro, that alone and that defense.
Yeah, they play lights out.
That defense sure as hell helped them get where they got.
Yeah, definitely.
Now listen, don't get me wrong. Like I think Cam, the last time we seen Cam on the field in 2018, he struggled to hit open receivers. He got that long, like overhead delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
That elongated delivery. And who knows if his shoulder's even 100%. Okay.
And it's okay.
That's all I'm saying. So if he can't, so once he gets in and he can, I know I've seen some film like that he recently put out, and who knows if he can definitely be the Cam we saw before. We don't know that. We know he has the.
That's what I'm saying. If you told me the Niners could get 2016, 2017 Cam, I'd say, yeah, make the trade. But a guy who, like I said, wasn't the most accurate guy at all times with a bum shoulder, if I can't test it, I can't trust it.
How okay, and I'm trying to still figure it out, this guys. So you guys are saying that pretty much with a bum shoulder, he had his best passing percentage of his career.
Yeah, but you remember the season, it was all like a lot of dink and dunks to McCaffrey. Didn't McCaffrey have 120 catches that year or so?
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of swing passes. A lot of them.
And a lot to Greg Olsen, it was like 10-yard
Yes.
hits. Also, this run.
That's
Yeah,
because
I know.
who does he have on the outside to throw the ball to?
Exactly.
The same guys that they had this year.
Concepts too.
And they didn't do well at all.
Yeah, they did. So,
All right, guys.
go ahead,
That-
Ryan.
Yeah, that being said, we're a house divided when it comes to Cam Newton. Let's change topics
I'm just wondering.
Let's
Go
change
ahead, Brian.
topics though to another quarterback,
Yeah.
one that hasn't played an NFL game yet. He actually
Oh,
has another year of NCAA football to go, and that is Mr. Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my God. Oh my
So,
God.
Hot topic, and it's already being talked about now, is tanking for Trevor. It's primarily a basketball concept. Tanking is the act of losing to acquire the highest draft pick that you can. As you know, in basketball, it's a lottery process. So by tanking, you just give yourself the highest chances of getting the first pick. Football's a lot easier. You lose the most games, you get the first pick. It's plain and simple. So there's a couple candidates out there. Some are out of left wing. Some are pretty obvious. And I'm pretty sure we're going to touch on every single one of them in this segment here. So let's get started with Tariq. Let's see what you got on who might tank for Trevor. Tank for Trevor.
tanking for Trevor.
That's funny.
So the one obvious choice, I think, where he goes to is Jacksonville. He's going to Jacksonville.
They don't have to tank, though.
They're going.
They just got to show up.
Right. They're going to trade Yannick and probably get a first-round pick for him, which you get, I believe, 3 first-rounders next year.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be 2-10. I mean, 2-14, 3-13, because Minshew is not that guy. We know that. So that's where he's going. If I'm looking for an outside team who could trade up for him, that's where it gets tricky, because a lot of teams that were terrible picked up quarterbacks this year. But if you're saying who would be an ideal situation for a young quarterback, it's the Colts. It's the Colts, because you got Rivers on a 1-year deal, and he out of there. So if you can get
quarterback,
who the Colts get?
Eason.
Jacob Eason.
Eason.
Right.
Yeah, but
you sold on him? Was he 5th-round pick?
I'm gonna agree with Tariq here. That'd be a really good fit.
Think about it. You got a young quarterback with that offensive line.
okay.
That's a great look for them right
You
now.
got
got
Jonathan
cap
Taylor.
space.
They're not. Listen, they're gonna. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna be way too good to tank for Trevor. We'll see though.
But I'm
Be way
saying
too
though,
good
but here's how it works though, right?
8-9 wins.
Right, yeah, for sure. But here's how it
You
works.
don't
though,
have
right?
to be. They could tank.
They're not tanking with
Yeah,
Phillip Rivers.
why would you
He
pay
doing too
Phillip
much.
Rivers
Are you
$32 million?
sure?
He doing too
Are
much.
you sure?
It's very easy to lose games when Phillip Rivers is your quarterback.
They
Well,
just
that's
paid the man
sidearming-
30
the
million.
sidearming
Did they
used
pay
to be-
30 million?
Oh,
Well, if that's
one
the
at a
case,
time, one at a time.
if that's the case, right? Let's say they start off bad, then okay, you may have an argument there, but they're not just going to straight up and just say we're going to take. So, but my point is that they only have him for 1 year anyway. So let's say he bows out, he gets the 9-win, 10-win season, they make the playoffs. Okay, he's gone. He might say, "I'm retired. I'm good. I don't want to play no more." Right? I'm good. I'm going to take care of my 9 kids and out of here. So I'm going to give up 3 first-rounders, and I'm going to get my quarterback of the future. That's what I'm going to do, because unless it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, whoever has the first pick in the draft probably don't need a quarterback. So they're going to be willing to trade back, and he'll be right there. Or if Justin Fields has a great, Heisman Trophy season, then Trevor's the number 2 quarterback versus number 1. So then you get him at 2. But that's where, that's a team outside looking in. I would say who would do it? I would say the Colts would do it. I don't think the Bucs would, because they got 2 years from Brady. You could say the Texans, because if they trade Deshaun Watson.
Let me cut you off there, because it sounds like you're going with the Jaguars, right?
I'm gonna say the Jags right now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I want to say, because I'm gonna throw it over to Tim, because you mentioned something interesting there, and I know Tim has a little input on this. Tim, how do you see this one playing out?
Well, see, I obviously think Jacksonville. If I put money on it, I'd put money that he's a Jacksonville Jaguar next year. Only because, like we said earlier, they don't have to tank very much.
No, they don't.
Like I said, the only thing is, like, a guy like Minshew is not a great quarterback, but he's a gamer. So every once in a while, they sneak in a couple wins that they shouldn't get because luck hits their way. Look at Ryan Fitzpatrick last year with the Dolphins. Nobody thinks Ryan Fitzpatrick's the guy, but he's a gamer. And you come in, you win a couple of games you shouldn't.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is fully to blame for why the Miami Dolphins don't have Joe Burrow right now.
Yeah, like I said,
That's true.
That's the kind of guy I see, like, Minshew being. Like, he's not a franchise quarterback in my eyes, but he's definitely a guy that comes in and beats teams that they're even with, I'll say. He's not going to come in and beat the Eagles or whatever play, or the Cowboys. He might come in and beat a couple of Cincinnati's and teams like that. But I have a dream situation for this. In my eyes, I don't see it happening, only because they don't have a first-round pick, this team. But Deshaun Watson, in my eyes, does not want to be a Houston Texan anymore. So he can go to the organization and say, "Look, I want out." And they can say, "Fine, we'll get you out, but we're trading you in an attempt to get either Lawrence or Fields." And if it worked out, teams would be lined up to give up 3 number 1 picks for Deshaun Watson. He's a proven quarterback. I always take the proven quarterback over the rookie, unproven quarterback, because a lot of people think Trevor Lawrence is good, but this year he didn't have the greatest year. It was a good year, but I can't see, like, I'm not going to go and stand on the soapbox or whatever and say that Trevor Lawrence is the next John Elway or Dan Marino. He has all the tools, but we've seen plenty of guys in the past with all the tools that didn't pan out. I've told Bruce this 1,000 times. I don't trust any rookie quarterback coming in this league until they show me that they can do something, because until then it's all hype. You have to prove something. So I think Houston would be a great landing spot for him if they want to rebuild, because I don't know what the hell Bill O'Brien's doing anyway. So, maybe they rebuild. Houston says, "Okay, we got our quarterback. Let's get this O'Brien guy out of here. Ship him back to Penn State or wherever the hell he wants to go." But in my thought process, that's a great place, even though I can't see it happening because they traded their first-round pick 2 years in a row for Laremy Tunstall. Bill O'Brien.
I will never in my life understand that trade. That trade made no sense.
Well, don't worry. He said, "Hold my beer. I'll send DeAndre Hopkins out for a running back that hasn't been healthy in 5 years."
Yeah.
So, Bill O'Brien said, "I'm not done yet." Who knows next? Maybe he'll trade Deshaun Watson for a punter. We don't know what's going on.
Hey, Houston, do y'all need a coach? Y'all need a GM out there? I can do it. You know what I mean? Just call me up. Trust me. I can do it.
I've always been anti-coach / GMing. I don't like it as a business model in the NFL, because I always look this way. If you're as your coach, you have to tell the players, "Look, I need X, Y, and Z from you, right? And then as
Mhm.
the GM, you have to say, well, look, I mean, you did a lot of stuff for us, but we can't afford this, blah, blah, blah. So I always think there should be some kind of buffer in there between
Yes.
the two.
Yo, Tim, I totally agree because
Yes.
for Eagles fans, and Tim, you're local, Reese, you're local. When Andy Reid was the GM, and he was the coach.
When
Yeah,
Chip Kelly was the GM and the coach, that was a fucking nightmare.
Oh Lord.
Yes. We definitely know that. His ass
Yeah.
came to fucking San Fran, too.
Yeah,
But
that's something we can all
Yeah.
relate to.
Shit.
No, but what I was saying about Reed, what my point was about Reed, to prove Tim's point, was that Reed was really attached to players, but Reed actually had a situation where he actually almost got into a fist fight with Jeremiah Trotter. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
At camp, because they had an issue when they negotiated. Andy Reid was involved, and it got heated.
Yes, it did.
It
Yes,
got
it did.
nasty.
Even Bill Belichick, the GM, has made a lot of bad decisions.
Yes, he has.
I mean,
Yes,
Bill
he
Belichick,
has.
the coach,
Yeah.
might be the GOAT, but Bill Belichick, the GM, has made a lot of bad decisions that if they weren't winning Super Bowls, it would be talked about a lot more.
So, quick question, just because I'm not aware of this. Who was the first coach / GM? Who was the first one to do it?
I know Tom Landry was one, I think.
Yeah, I believe it
Martin did it
was.
too.
Was it George Hollis, like the owner /
Yeah. George
Coach.
Hollis did everything.
Yeah,
George Hollis did everything. He did
He
everything.
painted,
Oh, my
he
God.
painted the lines on the field on Sundays. He did everything.
No, he did everything. He's like, look,
He cut the grass.
I'm saving money.
He was the
I'm
cotton
saving
candy guy.
He was ripping tickets at the gate.
Yeah.
Yo,
He's like-
real life. That's real life.
He's like
Yes.
Ruby Miles.
So, real quick, Tim brought up something a little interesting there. I know you have your hand raised right now, Bruce, but let me steal this real quick because Tim brought the name up. And that is the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. What a better situation Trevor Lawrence could walk into. Bill Belichick has nothing to play for right now because, as you know, Jared Stidham is not it. Trevor Lawrence to New England is a match made in heaven.
It's not happening.
Hold up,
Not even close.
Right.
Let me.
I love the hot take. I do.
But this is terrible.
We had this conversation before, right? I do, and I understand where he's coming from because he's right to a degree. Bill's he don't have the GOAT, right? But Bill Belichick is not going to throw away his legacy to tank for a guy who we don't even know if he's going to be any
It's
good in the NFL.
unproven. Yes.
So real quick, I could see Reese is chomping at the bit to say it. When has Bill Belichick ever done this? He never had to because Tom Brady fell into his lap in round 6. No one saw that coming.
Fell into his lap. Nobody knew this guy was going to be what the hell he was.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody
Tom
knew
Brady
a
fell.
sixth-round pick.
That's why I'm saying it fell into his lap.
The only thing I can agree. One thing I can agree with you, okay, is the Patriots were said to have a lot of interest in Jake Fromm this year, and Eson
State Farm.
From State Farm, and they didn't make the move. They had a chance a couple times to make the move. They could have drafted him multiple times, both of them. So maybe there's some smoke where there's fire. Maybe they'll go give up the farm, which I'm having a hard time believing.
Dude,
Bill go ahead.
I've heard tons of reporters say that he loves Stidham. He thinks Stidham is the next Brady. Like whether he is or isn't, it looks like Belichick believes that he is. And that's
If you notice, Bill.
Well, it appears Bill Belichick may have early offset dementia because Jared Stidham stinks.
Well, here's the thing about
Bill.
Bill.
Hang on. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever honestly watched him play, Ryan? I'm not being honest to God.
I watched tape. He just doesn't impress me. I mean,
well, I don't think Bill's impressed by him because he threw a pick in the preseason game, put Brady back in.
Yeah, and put his ass right. Get the hell out.
Right. Brady, I don't care. You can get hurt, but I don't want him in there. That's not how I look.
Well, it's said to me that New England has the toughest offense to learn in the league. So that might be another reason he doesn't want to bring somebody in this year with no mini camps or anything to learn the offense. Because they said I saw an interview with Chad Ochocinco before.
Yeah, he said it was.
And he was dumbfounded. He couldn't figure out left and right. He said it was so complicated.
He said Tim, didn't you say something like the amount of different concepts and packages they had?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And that might be a reason.
Yes.
And we're Brady. He wants you to be at a certain spot at a certain time. So with Chad Johnson, the way he runs routes, it could be off script. He gets open, but it's off script. So Brady says, no, be at 7, and you need to be at 7. You can't be at 8, you can't be at 6.
The reason why he didn't mention New England is because Palmer and Johnson had that chemistry to where if Johnson ran a sit-down route, Johnson could go left, right, up, back. It didn't matter. Like Palmer was going to find it. When he went to New England, that's Edelman's job, right? Edelman is the guy with the option routes. So it just didn't work.
I don't even know if Edelman was there at that time, though. Was he?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
What year was that? It was 11,
no,
right?
It was Welker.
No. They had Welker.
And Welker at the time.
Welker.
Edelman's been in the league for a while.
It was 2011. I mean, he might have been there. I just know it was when they went to the Super Bowl. Because remember, that's when they lost. They lost to the Giants the second time.
Yeah.
He might have been there. I know Welker was there for a minute, though.
Edelman was just a punt returner for a long time, too.
Yeah, he came in once Walker left. Then he became the guy.
And he ran a lot of these like option plays and stuff like that. But he wasn't a full-time player. No, I'm saying the first while he was just like a part-time player.
Right. So yeah. So you're right. Bruce was there, but he didn't play. It was Walker. It was Walker that was playing.
Yeah. You're right.
Now, and I know we're talking about New England and what they've done with the GOAT and so forth. But I just want to make sure, guys, that we don't let Ryan get away with this bullshit. Okay? Let's just make sure that we don't let Ryan
Ryan, what are you tripping, bro? Like, that's crazy.
How the hell are you going to say that Belichick, who has won six, correct? 6 championships, all of a sudden now has the mindset, I'm a tank.
Who'd he win those 6 championships with?
Yes, but he felt like it's him, not Brady.
Whoa.
That's the thing.
Who'd he win those 6 championships with?
He had Willie McGinnis.
Who was the quarterback in those 6 championships?
Who was the coach?
He had Drew Bledsoe was one of the quarterbacks there.
Not in the Super Bowl championship.
Sure.
Who was the winning quarterback in those 6 Super Bowl championships?
You mean who played?
Yes.
Well, they had Josh McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? He likes quarterbacks. You know, we're going to go with that. So forth and so forth. We all know who the damn quarterback was, okay? That's not the point. The point
what uniforms he wearing this year?
It was all Romeo Cornell.
Okay? Romeo Cornell. There you go. Romeo Cornell, Josh Daniels, Matt Patricia, all those guys, you know what I'm saying? Didn't have Matt Patricia. He won a damn Super Bowl without that guy. So
and that guy's a terrible coach.
Once again, you're talking
how many real quick,
horrible. He needs to go back to New England.
Real quick. Hey, Ryan, how many losing seasons has Bill had? So he's been a coach.
Well, in New England.
Yeah, in New England. How many has he had?
Don't count Cleveland.
I'm not counting Cleveland.
He said New England.
In New England, how many has he had, Ryan?
Wasn't he
personally the worst? I remember
yeah.
Hold up. The worst I remember the Patriots having myself was 9-7. That was the year Tom Brady got hurt.
It was
wrong. The year he was 11-5 that year.
Yeah,
they should have made the playoffs that year. That was when Matt Castle made the Pro Bowl.
They went 9-7 one year though. Was that with Tom Brady?
They did. That was 2002. You was like 5 when that happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the year. That was the year where the league was very strong.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only time Bill had losing season was his first year in New England. He was 5-11. Ever since then, he's never had a losing season.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Since I would say maybe like 3. The year they played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, Patriots took a step back, and it seemed like Tom Brady kind of kept them just above. You know what I mean? I know they won a Super Bowl. It didn't take much to do that. They beat the Rams 13-3. That's not an impressive Super Bowl win.
Yeah, we don't understand that.
It's a win.
That was the one unimpressive Super Bowl that Brady had.
Time out.
You take a step back, but win?
Listen. Wait. What number Super Bowl was the Eagles Super Bowl? Does anybody know?
Which one?
The first time when they beat the Eagles in
2004, I think it was like
what 30. Super Bowl was that for them? No, stop it. What was that number for them?
3.
That was
their third. Thank you, Tim.
3.
That was their first Super Bowl.
Yes.
How many Super Bowls do they have now?
No, I'm talking about the most recent one against the Eagles.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait.
Yeah,
you said wait. Hold on. I'm not letting him get away with that. I'm not going to wait. You just said that Brady. You said Brady and the Patriots had to take a step back against and Eagles that game.
No, it's since then it hasn't been. It has what I'm trying to get at. They won a Super Bowl after that. Obviously, they're not. But
you take a step back.
Hold up. Let me finish because it was a terrible Super Bowl. Let me get the point across here.
Good.
Yes, go ahead.
They looked bad in a Super Bowl. They took a step. They're not your mama's Patriots anymore, is what I'm trying to get at. That roster's thin. They don't have that good of a roster right now. They really don't. They lost a lot of players this offseason. They don't have a legit quarterback. Jarek Stidham hasn't seen a trip around the sun in the NFL yet.
Okay.
I get all that.
You're
But
a
those
horrible
same
player.
people
I
were
get
there
that.
when Brady was winning.
Brady was a skinny, scrawny dude from Michigan nobody cared about, and he didn't see it. He didn't even see reps in practice. And the man came in and became Joe Montana or Joe Montana, whatever one you want to look at.
Yeah. Like,
Come on, bro.
no.
Listen,
There's no way.
He's the
But
GOAT.
what?
There's no way that
There's a
that
key
Bill's gonna
thing you're
ruin
missing here.
This legacy for that. No.
That's
No.
definitely one. And another key thing is, once again, how did he get his legacy? It's off of defense. Yes, they won a Super Bowl. You guys said it was horrible. How many points did they give up to an offense that was ranked in the top 5?
They were number
Only
one that
3,
year.
guys.
They were number one that
3.
year. The Rams, I
It
think the
was
Rams were
number
number
one.
one offense
So once
that year.
again, you think, yeah, they lost the GOAT, but what you're forgetting that there's 2 sides of the ball.
That's
There's
right.
a defense.
That's
And
right.
guess what? He's not going to go ahead and say, yeah, go ahead, bring it on up. It's not in him. After 20-some-odd years of, like you said, having a GOAT, you
mean
think
that
all
defense
of a sudden
that-
you can just switch that off? That's not happening.
You mean the defense that let the Tennessee Titans advance into the second round of
Yeah,
the playoffs
the
last
same
year?
one that Baltimore led too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that because I have my own opinion on Baltimore, but that's another topic for another time.
Wait.
Anyway.
Let's just real quick, and then one more thing to touch on your point about.
But that defense changed from the year.
Listen. Let's talk about the Patriots for a minute. Bill Belichick has found ways, okay, to have the most successful 20-year run in the history of the NFL. Okay, Brady, at points in his career, you can call him a game manager.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes.
Right?
First
Brady,
3 rings.
Listen, there was at one point they were just winning with 2 tight ends. They ran 12 personnel 50% of the time.
Yes.
50% of the time they ran 12 personnel.
Yes.
They had guys like Kevin Falk.
Yes.
They had
Corey Dillon. They had Corey Dillon for a bit.
Corey Dillon, thank you.
For a season. That's
Troy
right.
Brown.
They had where are you now, guys?
Now, Deion Branch.
Deion Branch won an MVP. You won an MVP against the Eagles.
Better yet. Wait a minute. Let me ask you all a question. So we're going to go to the vault real quick.
Go ahead.
Wes Welker.
Oh, yeah.
What did Wes Welker do before he became a Patriot?
He was in the Dolphins.
Hey, what did he do?
Yeah, exactly.
He was a nobody.
Shit.
He was a punt returner.
He was nobody.
Davey Amendola.
Yeah,
Would you like
maintained.
fries with that?
Yep.
Davey Amendola, another one.
Yes.
He's a punt returner. He was close to
He was
working.
punt
He was
returner.
2 weeks away from working at McDonald's. Exactly.
Chris Hogan.
Let me just say this real fast.
11.
I won't completely shit on Ryan's hot take here, just in case it happens to come out to be true. I don't want him talking shit to me afterwards.
You guys are going to be eating the humble pie when it happens.
So
Look,
I'll say it's not going to happen, but I'll just eat a small slice of humble pie. I don't want the whole.
You know, listen.
Reese
I'll
is
take-
going to get the bakery.
I'll take it.
give
I'll
me the
take it all.
bakery. Give me the. It's
No.
not going to happen.
I'll take a whole cupcake. Check this
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Let me say something. I don't think they're going to tank, but they're a bad team.
Yeah, but you know you got to be like 2-14 to get this guy.
Yo, I'm going to throw something else at you. I'm going to throw you a curveball. Patriots make the playoffs this year.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Book it.
Look who they got in a silly ass division.
Book it.
They do get 5 wins in that division. Let's keep it a bean. They do
Book
get
it.
5. They do get 5.
Not
no
this
way.
year they won't.
They'll beat them. They'll beat
Buffalo.
them once this year.
Miami.
They'll lose.
Jets.
They'll lose. They might beat the Texans because the Texans
5-1
just
better.
trade away Dion.
They'll go 5-1.
They'll go 5-1 division. And then who else they got? Who they play?
They're gonna split. They're gonna split with every team in that division.
I agree.
Wow.
They'll lose to Miami. That'll be
Look
the
at-
one loss.
Look at their
Miami got-
weapons, man.
The Bills are loaded now.
I'm saying
The
New
Bills are
England-
stacked.
Look at
They
New
still
England's
got who
weapons.
as the quarterback?
They're horrible.
Bills will win the division.
Josh Allen's good.
Don't
They'll
do
win the
that.
division.
Don't. Now he's good.
He's
now.
good. Yeah,
You can't hold up real quick.
He did make the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yo, Tim, let me get this in real quick. You guys can't say
I mean,
Josh Allen is
How many
bad.
Pro Bowls he make?
Hold up. You can't say Josh Allen is bad, but Cam Newton is good because they are the same quarterback. They are the same
They're
quarterback.
not.
Yes,
One
they are.
has
No, they're
won the damn
No, they're not.
MVP,
No,
and the
they're
other
not.
one definitely has not.
Just because they
year
both
two.
run does not mean
That's
they're the
not the
same. Just because they
Not
both
year
run doesn't
two.
mean they're the same.
They've
They're not the
both-
same.
First of all, stop.
Not the same.
Josh Allen is a totally different kind of QB, by the way.
I disagree.
I can't believe I'm
Just
actually
because they
agreeing
both
with
run the
Bruce.
ball doesn't make them the same.
That's
Josh
not why
Allen,
I said.
Josh Allen is more of a mold of a Patrick Mahomes than he is of a Cam Newton. Josh Allen could throw that ball through a battleship.
No, he did. He probably has the strongest arm in the league, arguably.
No. That guy still lives in Detroit.
I'm giving it to Mahomes. I got Mahomes now. I like Stafford, but I give it to Mahomes now.
I forgot about that.
I think Stafford's one of the most overrated players in history.
First and foremost, who's that?
Tim. He is overrated.
Did you say Tim?
Stafford is one of the most overrated players in history.
Wait, listen.
I agree.
And Matt Ryan.
There you go.
Wait, listen.
And with him saying that, hold on real
Yo.
quick. That's where Trevor Lawrence is going. Because Detroit is definitely going to mess this season up. That's where he's going. They're not tanking. They're just going to suck. Sorry. I just want to make sure you get that in there.
I can't argue with that point, Reese. I think you could be right.
Come on, Reese. Killing me.
Hey, I like Matthew Stafford as far as fantasy because he loves to throw the ball. But guess what?
No,
it's almost time to go. You're getting paid way too much money not to make the playoffs.
I'm not saying Matthew Stafford is anything more than what he is. I'm just saying, for years, it's been considered he has the strongest arm in the NFL.
Oh, it's great. Awesome. Strong arm. Awesome. Great. Awesome.
So did Jay Cutler.
I'm about to say that, Tim. So did Jay Cutler.
I didn't want to do it this time. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Again, we put Jay Cutler again in this conversation.
I mean, Jeff Jordan has one of the strongest one in NFL history.
Number two.
That's number two. That's the second
Kyle
Jay Cutler
Bowler.
reference.
Kyle Bowler.
Say Culpepper. Like, we can know strong arm.
Kyle Bowler used to throw the ball through the uprights at midfield on his knees.
Stafford still had a better career than all those guys.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And who has the most – all right, check this stat out, guys. Who has the most touchdown passes without a playoff win?
That's a damn shame.
Matthew Stafford.
Is Andy Dalton second? Because he got to be right behind him.
Yes, he is. And Andy Dalton is going to be what now? A backup. So Matthew Stafford, your time is coming up. Your time is coming up.
Andy Dalton might be the starter.
How old is Stafford?
He's old as
31.
31.
Yeah.
31.
I actually thought he's older than that.
Yeah.
So
the Pastors traded for him. I would have saved his career if Belichick would have traded for him.
who's up next?
Man,
Right,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Reese got his out there. So, Bruce, you're up last, but certainly not least.
All right, so I got an interesting take on Lawrence. Reese kind of spoiled one of the teams I think he could end up at. Thanks, Reese. But I look at what the Lions have done the last couple of years, and this is a make or break it year for Matt Patricia. I mean, they added DeAndre Swift. They already have Kenyon Johnson, right? They have a decent receiving core.
Kenny Galladay's a stud.
Yeah, they're more than decent. Him and Marvin Jones, they more than decent.
I'm not huge on Marvin Jones. I like Galladay. My point is though is that they have a pretty decent. They're building something decent offensively. If they don't do what if they don't compete at all this year, which I doubt they will, Lawrence would look really good in that Detroit Lions uniform. You put him in there with that kind of run game that they should have. I mean, that would be kind of impressive. But that's not really what I think he ends up. It's just a team I think he could end up at. So I thought about this, and there's a couple teams kind of on the cusp with some older QBs, and one of them is the Atlanta Falcons. They got weapons, plentiful. They went out and signed Gurley, who's a stub toe away from not playing no more. He gets injured all the time, arthritis in the knees, whatever the case may be. He might come out, rush for 1,500 yards, or he might come out and get hurt week 3. We don't know. If they don't win it, if they play remotely like they played last season, you could see the Falcons really at the bottom half of this league because that division got a whole lot better.
Yeah, it did.
A whole lot better. They might not win a game. I think the Panthers are more talented.
You can talk. That's a debatable. Yeah,
that's a legitimate argument. I mean, the Falcons are not going to be a very good football team this year unless they.
Panthers are the second best team in the NFC
But
South.
see, but offensively though, they should put up numbers.
That.
They should put up numbers offensively for the Falcons.
They should. But check
They
this out.
should be offensively stacked.
They do not.
Carolina?
Matt Ryan's like an
You
8
guys
8
love
guy,
Teddy Bridgewater.
not a 4 and 12 guy.
Well, Bridgewater's the epitome of a game manager, right? I mean, he
Yes,
can get it
that's
done.
fact.
Though.
And he got
5-0
no.
this season.
Yeah, but don't do that. You saw who he had around him.
And,
You got a
it
great
does not matter.
coach.
He had over 200
It
yards. It
does
was like one
matter.
game.
I know. You guys are all talking about Cam Newton.
Cam could have been
Listen.
5-0 with that team. Cam would have went 5-0. Yes. Yes.
Listen,
We could all name quarterbacks go 5-0 with that team.
Eddie Edmond.
look,
Slimming
You
might
got
go
one of
5-0
the
with that
best
team.
receivers in the games. You got one of the best receivers in the game, Michael Thomas.
here's the bottom line.
It's not hard to lose. Not hard
Shoot,
to.
Taysom Hill might have
win
went
with
5-0 if they started Taysom Hill.
No, stop already. Stop. Y'all are tripping. Last time Cam Newton stepped on the field, Cam Newton couldn't even throw outside the hash. He looked like Lamar Jackson. So stop.
Neither does Timmy. I mean, Teddy. He don't throw. Teddy don't throw like that. He averaged 20 yards a game.
It doesn't matter.
You're talking about
Man,
somebody
it's
who
the
was
game.
hurt. You're talking about someone who was injured, not hurt. You're talking about somebody injured to somebody completely was fully healthy.
Right. I'll
Anyway,
take Cam over Teddy
all right,
injured.
Enough about Cam Newton.
You did that. Not me. You did that.
You did. You definitely
The matter
did.
is, Bridgewater still went 5-0. What I'm saying is I think the Falcons could be a landing spot. I also think the Raiders could be a landing spot. Now, to throw in a little bit of a wrinkle, when we talked about it before, fellas, I think the Cleveland Browns, even though I think they're a pretty good football team, if Mayfield don't turn the corner, like Baker Mayfield has everything to succeed. Everything. Odell Beckham's motivated this year, right? Succeed. A new coach, you don't succeed. Look, man, I want to say Trevor Lawrence, but what better look would it be if the Browns finish 6-10,
That's
or 5-11?
That's
If
terrible.
they do, though, they try to make a move, one of the top two quarterbacks. And I think Justin Fields could be their guy.
Here's the
Justin
only
Fields
thing
can end
about
up in
Baker, though. He still got 2 more years on that deal that's got guaranteed money in it.
Who cares?
Yes.
You have to trade him. Now, they could probably trade him somewhere.
They probably
Talking
trade him.
about-
Definitely
yo,
trade him.
You're talking about the Browns, bro. They've had 165 QBs in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
I like the
jersey
GM,
floating
though. I
around.
do like the GM, though.
I'm just
He's
saying,
the analytics guy.
listen, the fact
Shout out to
of
the
the
brother.
matter is that I think the Browns, Falcons, or the Raiders could be a landing spot for Lawrence, and I think one of those 3 teams could end up with Field. That's what I think. And I think the Jaguars are probably going to be in that mix. And everybody's picking the Jaguars, so I figured I'd go outside the box. But that's what I got for Lawrence. I think Lawrence could be great, but he has to show more this season because, listen, if Fields goes and wins the Heisman this year, slide in front of him.
We're not talking about Ohio State quarterbacks. Ryan already said it earlier. They be
Yeah.
suspect in the league.
That's actually a topic I want to save for another time because we could talk about that for days. That being said, let's kill the Trevor Lawrence conversation real quick. I'm going to catch you guys off guard, and I'm going to ask you guys for your way too early Super Bowl predictions. What 2 teams do you think are going to be there? Right off the gun. I want them straight from the hip.
Wow.
Chiefs, Eagles.
You got Chiefs, Eagles. I like that.
Oh,
Jesus,
my Jesus.
book it.
Of course, such a homer.
So
I'm going to tell you why, though. Right?
Hold up.
All right, go ahead.
No rationale for it. I just want to hear it. We're going to rapid fire here.
All right, Chiefs, Eagles for Reek. I'm gonna just stay with the hot take on this one. I'll roll with Ryan. I think the Bucks find their way there. I think Brady proves the world what it is.
Brady beating the Eagles. I'm not talking to you no more, Bruce.
Hey, we're
listen,
unbiased here.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Listen, no, forget about it. Listen, wait, hold up.
I'm just
This is
playing.
right now. I gotta see. I told Ryan earlier. I gotta see the preseason before I really get into it. But right now, roster-wise, Brady with those receivers and not to get to the rationale.
They legit.
Who do you got out of the AFC?
I'm gonna go to Bucks, and I'm gonna go. The Chiefs winning back to back.
So you got the.
Wow.
I'm sorry, you fuzzed out for a second. You got Chiefs, Bucks.
I got the Bucks and Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning, going back to back.
Wow.
Gotcha.
would be
How about you, Reese?
Man, I'm a
Go ahead,
guy
say the
for
Niners. Don't lie.
nostalgia.
Go say
I'm a
Niners.
guy
Go
for
ahead.
nostalgia. Hold on, Rick. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy for nostalgia. We're going to take our time and we're going to bring back some good years. But this time we're going to get the job done. And we're going to go back to I believe it was 2014. And we're going to have a replay. Ravens, Niners. They got no Ray Lewis. You know what I'm saying? We don't got Frank Gore, who was killing Ray Lewis in that damn game.
Hold up. No context to it. Just prediction of who's going to be there and who wins.
That's it. And you know, for you. And look, we already were there. Yes, Jimmy G has another year, and he's going to manage it. He learned from Tom Brady, and he will beat the GOAT. So once again, we're going back. The defense is set again. We got some new young guns. Everything, like you said that window before, it's there. We got to get it done this year, and we will get it done.
When is the last time an NFC team going twice?
Hold up. Let's let Tim get his prediction out real quick, and then I'll get mine.
So
This is just rapid fire. There's no context to it. I just wanted to catch you guys off guard real quick.
Ravens, Niners. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna shoot one out here, just because if it does happen, I'll look like a genius. Here, I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings versus the Denver Broncos. Shout out to my boy Christian Rock.
That's a betting pick.
I know. You know what?
That's a betting pick.
You know what? You like to bet a lot. I understand.
That's a betting pick. There's no way, Tim, you think Kirk Cousins gets to the Super Bowl. There's no way.
Hey, like I said, I'm just throwing it out there. So if it does happen, I look like a freaking
And then Drew, you would. You could probably put $1 on both of them and win like 200,000.
Drew Lock.
I'm a player.
And if it doesn't happen, I say, hey, look, it was May 6th.
Man, if that happens, you're going viral. You're going viral.
Yo, since you're going to get since Tim's going hot take on us,
yes.
I'll throw something out there for all our sports bettors real quick. Yo, the Jets over under 6 games.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm taking over.
I'm taking over.
Jets win that division.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you a damn
I
lie.
do think the Jets win a 7-8 game easy though. That defense is good, bro.
Ryan is making me drink. I thought it was, you know what I mean, before. Mama,
Ryan,
this is what I'm wondering. I do this podcast and I start drinking.
I got baking soda next to me. I'm about to end it all because of Ryan.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm
ridiculous,
sorry.
Ryan.
Run with your teams. Pick your teams.
Go ahead, say Jets.
I'm gonna make a couple.
Bills.
I'm gonna make a couple. Hold up.
No, Ryan. No. You ain't gonna pick a couple. You're gonna give us 2 teams right now.
You said off the cuff.
No, you guys didn't let me finish. I'm gonna make a couple people sick with this prediction.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
you picking the Cowboys?
Yeah, absolutely, you will. Ryan does.
So, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's a pretty fair to say, pretty safe pick to say that they're going to be playing the Super Bowl again next year.
Correct. But you're not safe.
So I got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Playing the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl next year. Dak
God,
Prescott.
he's a Cowboy fan.
No, I'm not. I'm sick of it.
Swear to God.
shout out
They got the tools, man. They got a legit teams. And remember, this is just.
They have an offense. Period. That's it.
No defense.
They have no defense.
Yeah,
No.
defense.
That defense is still pretty good.
Who?
Listen,
You name their
they lost
secondary.
the lead sack getter. Listen, hold up. They lost Robert Quinn. I
Yep.
said this earlier. They're replacing him with Alden Smith, who's been suspended or out of the league for the last 2 years.
5 years.
Mike Gregory, he can't not smoke weed.
Hey,
Or take drugs.
If it happens,
Weed is legal now, but he still has to be eligible to come back though.
if it happens, it's going to be the most, and I'm going to feel dirty about it in the inside. It's going to be the most disgusting "I told you so" ever.
I will put
You
my
should
money on
feel
it.
so dirty.
Yeah,
man.
right, then, yeah, exactly. Yeah, terrible.
I feel dirty saying it. I'm
I
not
don't
proud
know why.
of it.
So you really,
That being said,
I'm gonna block you,
hold up. I got the Chiefs winning by 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl anyway, so it don't matter. It'd be
God.
yeah.
I'm not going to block Ryan anymore, guys.
Yeah. So that being said,
You disgust me.
we got. So let me write this down real quick because this will be fun to look back at later on.
write that down.
Listen, Ryan.
I'm telling you.
Hey, hot take, Charlie. Listen, I think we should do one now, and then after the first couple weeks of the preseason, before week 1, give our our next that would be our next prediction. I think that'd be a good go.
That's cool.
Right. But yo, for real, that Jets bet, that's a slam dunk.
Bruce, did you give us your teams?
Yeah, I said the Chiefs, and I said the Bucks.
Bucks, that's right.
With the Chiefs winning and the shootout.
All right. That being said, though, guys,
Remember
I
it,
think-
write it down, take a picture.
yeah, absolutely. That being
don't
said,
give
though,
up.
I think we covered all our planned topics for tonight. So let's go ahead and shut this down. Try to keep this one a little bit shorter than usual.
I like it.
Not as much to talk about. That being said, please, everyone, we appreciate your support. Continue to like, share, subscribe, give us your feedback. As always, we appreciate your feedback.
Hit
Tim
that
Liberatore,
notification bell.
yes, ring that bell. Just a couple guys have been giving us feedback constantly.
And
Tim
subscribe
Liberatore,
for us.
which is Chris LaRock, Bruce and Tim's friend. Yeah, we appreciate you guys with the feedback so far. There's more of you I can't remember off the top of my head.
Hey, Rye, also, let's congratulate Ray Kleinmeyer.
Oh,
He
yeah.
won the contest.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ray,
sir.
appreciate
We got a draft hat waiting for you, Ray. Draft
Yes,
hat,
sir.
baby.
Yeah,
That's
he
for
actually
you.
he just sent me the link over for the hat he picked out. So
Yeah.
he picked out a nice one.
Bruce is going to buy you a Ram
Logo.
song.
They're gonna win 6 games this year. You know what? Y'all didn't talk about that. That's the team getting watched. He gonna be Trevor
listen.
Lawrence to the Rams.
One more
They
thing,
They
though.
don't have a draft pick.
Oh my
Rob.
God, that's terrible.
One more thing. For
The Jaguars have it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
That's
For
why
the
they gave
people
2
out
for
there-
Ramsey.
So, man, we got to stop. We Sunday, actually Monday, we're gonna launch our schedule release episode. So we'll be doing that we'll be airing that on Monday. So look out for that.
That's gonna be spicy.
Yes.
Spicy.
Yes.
Yes, it will. That being said, guys, everyone be safe out there. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We always do appreciate it.
Please.
Until next time, we are the football guys.